Do the contents of this program provide information taught by certified firearm training instructors on how to properly carry and discharge firearms? Do not attempt this at home. All gun handlers should seek personalized training programs in their area to properly learn how to safely carry and operate firearms. Contact your local law enforcement or NRA agency to find certified training instructors in your area.
Been threatened, been followed.
4 years ago, I was a victim of a rape.
I was mugged.
I have been a victim of a hate crime.
I'm here to take a proactive stance in my life.
This is Conceal and Carry School. 9 students from across the country have come to learn the art of self-defense from head instructor Bill Davison. How will the students fare as Bill ratchets up the intensity? Will they make the grade? And then Ruger's Ken Jorgensen instructs the students on what to look for in a personal firearm. But first, former Royal Marine turned Tac Pro instructor Bill Davison has been training all his life in the pursuit of the best firearm practices. Today, we'll hear his story.
Conceal and Carry School is brought to you by Ruger, rugged, reliable firearms. Conceal and Carry School is brought to you by
Insight Technology, built for battle. And by Blackhawk, honor as a way of life.
Every year, thousands of Americans become the victims of violent crimes. Bill Davison has made it his personal responsibility to ensure that his students have the skills to keep themselves safe from the dangers of urban living. But Bill doesn't just work with civilians. He's also a preferred trainer of military and police personnel from all over the country. Having trained thousands of individuals over the course of 14 years, there's not much Bill Davison hasn't seen. In recent weeks, we've heard from several students. But what do we know about head instructor Bill Davison?
My name is Bill Davison. I was born in Lincoln, England, and at the moment I run and own Tac Pro Shooting Center.
Tac Pro's facility is set on a 550-acre lot and features ranges from 25 to 1,000 yards.
I'm more interested in teaching you to survive than making you happy. When you leave Tac Pro, I want you to know that you're going to survive.
I've known Bill since about 2000. He joined the British military very early in age. I think they actually had a program called Boy Soldiers where they went in like 14, 15, or 16 very early.
And I did 3.5, 4 years with them. Even during that time, I already became an instructor for rifle and pistol and submachine gun.
I've learned an awful lot from him. He's the best firearms instructor I've ever come across.
From there, I went into the Royal Marines. The Royal Marines are without a doubt my stepping stone. That's where nearly 90% of everything I know came to me. Look through the gun at the threat. You've got to make sure that when you're doing your stuff, you look like you mean it. Gun's clear, line's clear. Who's next?
The training that we provide out here at Tac Pro is very similar to law enforcement training. In fact, we have a lot of law enforcement and military, active duty and reserve military personnel come out here to train.
What he doesn't know about guns probably isn't worth knowing.
I felt like Bill started off a little gruff, but I think he kind of had to make sure that we paid attention and we were, very focused on safety and took him seriously.
I think I've had a mental shift after taking the course with Bill Davison.
Bill's not the kind of guy, I think, that you're going to go out and have sushi with. But if you want to learn firearms and firearm safety, I think this is definitely the guy you'll want to come to. There's no doubt about that.
If I had to go on a desert island one time and take one element, I'm taking Bill Davison. The guy's a friggin' nightmare, and he can do anything you need him to do. He can cook, he can clean, he can kill shit.
Down, scan, scan.
We're halfway through the course, and the students are feeling more confident than ever.
Now that we are halfway through this class, I'm actually enjoying this.
I'm a little bit nervous. I got to remember to keep my anxiety down.
I'm not feeling very confident. I am kind of nervous, even though I have shot a gun before.
Coming up,
They, took away the handguns, they took away the semi-auto rifles. It did nothing to change gun crime.
but first.
You should be feeding your puppy right now. You should be feeding your puppy. Okay, so the idea of feeding a puppy is always to have food in it. On threat. Now, scan, scan.
All that and more on Conceal and Carry School.
Good.
Welcome back. Today we're learning more about Tac Pro head instructor Bill Davison. Bill's first armed conflict was an eye-opening experience.
The first time I ever went into an area what I would consider like combat is in Northern Ireland. It was still pretty lively in those days, yes. I mean, it's still lively today. They say it's all solved, but it's not solved by any means. A couple of incidences that I was in, I actually said to myself, why didn't they tell me this would happen?
While on patrol with an assault group in Northern Ireland, Bill, along with his fellow Marines, encountered enemy fire. Shots rang out and everyone took cover, except for Bill.
Corporal there looked at me and he was taking cover behind a big concrete ballard. And he looked at me straight in the face and said, Davison, you're going to stand there like a target or you're going to take cover with the rest of us?
With all his extensive training, Bill was still unprepared for the rush of adrenaline.
When I was being trained as a young Marine, no one ever sat down and said, well, when the firefight starts, this is what's going to happen, because you're going to want to survive.
Thankfully, the enemy's machine gun jammed after only 6 rounds were fired, allowing the squad leader time enough to direct Bill to take cover.
Well, now, most training places know that these things are going to happen, and we can show incidents where they've happened. And if that's the case, we've got to devise ways of making it happen when you're on class. One of the things that's going to happen under stress is you're going to have tunnel vision. You're going to lose the peripheral vision. So by teaching you to physically turn the head 360 degrees, we take out the equation of you losing your peripheral vision.
The 1997 Firearms Act was passed by the British government following the Dunblane massacre, in which 16 children were shot by a legally registered gun owner, banning private gun ownership throughout the country.
The Dunblane massacre was the excuse used by the British government to confiscate all privately owned handguns. Bill Davison at the time was teaching police officers how to shoot. One day, I think in about 1997,
British officials came to Bill's home to collect his firearms, but they were too late.
And he said, you're too late, they're in Texas and I'm following them.
I had a couple of properties in England, and I sold everything that I owned in England. They took away the handguns, they took away the semi-auto rifles. It did nothing to change gun crime.
In the United States, what they call hot burglaries when somebody is home, is about 13% of the burglaries. It's about 50% in the UK because they don't care if somebody is home when they break in, because the law says that basically self-defense is illegal.
This basically pointed me towards training in the US. Without a doubt, this is the last place in the world that a free person can own a gun, defend themselves, and be a good citizen.
Soon after Bill's move to Texas, Tac Pro Shooting Center was born.
What he doesn't know about guns probably isn't worth knowing.
The school itself has been here 12 years now. In those 12 years, we've covered every class you can think of, from unarmed combat all the way out to testing machine guns and night vision and even rockets for the military.
From defensive pistol to hand-to-hand to military assault rifles, Bill does it all.
You should be feeding your puppy right now. You should be feeding your puppy. Okay, so the idea of feeding the puppy is always to have food in it. So we can come in, one under. Now notice I'm looking through the gun, out the threat. I'm up, on threat. Now, scan, reload. One in, threat, down, scan. Getting a little closer. All right, so what we're doing is keeping him fed all the time.
What you see in a good shooting school is they're going to get them close to the target. They're going to break it down to very fundamentals, because you have to feel some accomplishment. You're going to start 3 yards away from the target, and you've got to be able to bring the gun out and go bang and say, that's a good hit.
Not only has the program exceeded my expectations, but I think I personally have exceeded my own expectations for myself. I'm actually enjoying this.
Well, we're midway now and I'm feeling really good today. Accomplished a lot. I'd like to have a lot more practice on my trigger pull and just be more consistent and stay with that, and that in turn would help me with my being able to defend myself.
I do feel like I've had a complete amount of training so far, especially with the lessons about mindset and everything else.
The only thing that's bigger than being able to move and shoot is having the right mindset. If you haven't got a mindset, but you've got the gun, you still can't use it because you're still in this phase of what should I do?
Though the students are halfway through the course, there's still plenty to learn. Coming up, Ken Jorgensen from Ruger talks about how to find the right gun for you. You won't want to miss this on Conceal and Carry School. In the 2 years following the 1997 abolition of private gun ownership in the UK, violent crimes increased by more than 40%. While during the same period of time, crime rates in the U.S. fell by nearly 12%. Welcome back to Conceal and Carry School. Today we're talking with Tac Pro's head instructor, Bill Davison.
It's not just being safe, you've got to learn everything about the weapon itself and yourself.
We're halfway through the class, and today we're joined by Ruger's own Ken Jorgensen. Ken is an avid hunter and marketing executive with Ruger Firearms.
For a beginning shooter, I think a revolver is by far and away the best choice.
Revolvers never jam. If you're looking for a lightweight and easy to conceal gun you can count on, think about a revolver.
I am a revolver shooter. I have been shooting revolvers for far longer than I want to admit.
Ken's come down to Tac Pro to talk with the students one-on-one about choosing the right firearm for them.
You've already fired the SR9. Some of you had the full-size gun. Some of you were shooting the compact.
This is going to be completely different, but that's okay.
Yeah, it feels pretty big.
There are three major factors to consider when choosing what firearm is right for you. The most important being purpose.
For someone that's going to carry and conceal every day, this would probably be the best option, especially for women. You wouldn't be able to see it, even if, you know, you're wearing a tight little number. It kicks back a lot more than I thought it would.
Where will you keep your gun?
Basically, I'm looking for two different guns. I'd like to have one in my home and then one that I could carry with me.
How do you normally dress?
You know, I'm pretty relaxed. I usually have some cargo shorts, t-shirt.
I think for a lot of people, a revolver makes a lot of sense.
It does have a little bit of kick to it, but I think with the tight grip on it, you can really control your target very well. With the size of it, very easily concealable.
Lastly, your own physical attributes should be considered when selecting a gun. The power and weight of a sidearm could affect your ability to fire it accurately.
And now you're getting after it. Where are you aiming, Timothy?
Right in the hole. I think I'm going to have a lot more control with something like this. My fingers are kind of short and kind of fat. It just feels better for a smaller person.
Only you, the potential gun owner, knows the answers to these questions. But make sure you answer them before choosing a firearm. With so many options to choose from, some students are uncertain which firearm is right for them.
Okay, Andy, we'll say we can. What we'd like to do is to talk through what you think your gun's job's going to be when you get one.
I'm here because it's a great opportunity to learn self-defense tactics and how to make sure that I ensure the safety of myself and people that I care about.
If you were to carry concealed, how do you dress in your everyday work life?
Every day we're at least a two-piece suit, sometimes a three-piece suit.
This is the LCR, which is truly a good concealed carry gun, very lightweight, and you know, it's certainly a gun that you could carry concealed under a sports coat or a suit jacket.
I just wish that the grip was a little lower. They feel really awkward, and I feel like I lose control of the weapon when my bottom finger's not on the grip.
I'm here to accomplish one of my fears, and that's to learn how to carry and conceal a weapon. That's important to me because 4 years ago I was a victim of a rape. My first needs is more my home because I live by myself.
One of the things about the revolver that I like is it's either ready to shoot or it's open and not.
Next thing.
Scares me, but I want to try it.
Pointy end goes in.
I feel like a cowboy. For what I would need it for at home, I don't need 17.
No, if you're going to, well, that's not a good call. This is a 6-shooter. What if 7 bad people come in?
Okay.
I'm here to take a proactive stance in my life. I have a restraining order against a handyman, and although he is no longer trespassing on my property, he does go by the property almost on a daily basis.
Spend quite a bit of time by myself. I think I might possibly need a gun for the home.
I think a gun in the house, obviously size is not really a factor there.
I like this gun. It's nice and heavy and very little recoil. It's a very, very nice gun.
With a nearly limitless selection of firearms from a variety of manufacturers, knowing which gun is right for you can be a challenge. What are the most important factors to consider when choosing a firearm? Under what circumstances do you foresee using the weapon? Bottom line, would you know what gun is right for you? Coming up, the students are halfway through the course. Some are doing better than others.
I'm a different person than I was when I started.
And it's being aware, removing yourself from situations that don't feel right.
And I'm very, very proud of them. To give them that confidence is what the instructor gets out of it.
Conceal Carry School is brought to you by Cheaper Than Dirt, America's ultimate shooting sports discounter, by Otis, the most advanced gun care system in the world, and by TN Marketing and the Personal Defense Network.
I felt that I couldn't do anything.
I could have changed the whole outcome. My whole life would have been different.
I didn't see it coming. I wasn't prepared.
I just don't know what's out there.
I wasn't prepared for it.
On the line! Ready?
One round! Up! Welcome back. Ken Jorgensen and Bill Davison have been talking with each student one-on-one about which gun is right for them.
Over 80% of people who own guns don't go to get formal training. So you've got to give them credit for saying, I'm going to be there.
I'm proud of myself for coming to the program and doing the program. Knowledge dispels fear, so we're getting a great deal of knowledge and a lot of practice.
The students are halfway through the course. Some are doing better than others.
I'm a different person than I was when I started. Now that we're halfway, the most important thing that I'll take with me is the mindset. You really have to put yourself in that mindset, to be aware of what's around you.
I need to start thinking about some of those basic things so I can be safer day to day. It's not always about, using deadly force, like he said. It's being aware, removing yourself from situations that don't feel right.
I'm very, very proud of them. To give them that confidence is what the instructor gets out of it, to know that they're going to be safer and happier people when they leave than when they got here. It is our job to train them to be safe and survive with their weapon. If it takes 100 days, I don't care. They've come here for our help, and we have to pass the knowledge on to them.
The students are feeling good now, but what's in store for them in the days to come? And will they be able to overcome the challenges that Bill Davison and his staff have waiting for them? And what stories are left to be heard? Through the course of this show, we've witnessed human beings, some the victims of heinous crimes, discover new levels of personal confidence and self-respect. Bill Davison and his staff at the Tac Pro Shooting Center have gladly taken on the challenge of helping these 9 students become responsible gun-carrying citizens. However, their work is far from over. Next time on Conceal and Carry School, Lori Dishman took a cruise with her best friend, Michelle. What was supposed to be a celebration of friendship turned into the worst night of her life. And later, would you know what to do if you were victimized aboard a cruise ship in international waters? We'll find out.